Hey man, this is Cornelius Lindsay. Thank you so much for being a part of my men's mentoring network. As you know, I've released my 12th book, or if you didn't know, I released my 12th book entitled Overlooked. I released my first book back in 2012. My first book was So You Want to Be Married, and since then, in 6 years, I've been able to self-publish 12 books. So I pray that in the next six years I'll be able to do at least 12 to 20 more. Amen. I got a lot of information in me and I want to get it out to you as best way I possibly can. You can get these books on Amazon, Audible, Kindle. You even go to my personal website, corneliuslindsay.com. You can grab it there. But anyway, the book is entitled Overlooked. One of the chapters that I wrote about in this book is entitled Am I Enough? It's a question that I've pondered many times. If you've ever felt overlooked, which we've all felt that way. If you ever felt overlooked by God, by an employee, by a spouse, by your kids, it doesn't matter who it is. If you felt overlooked, then usually you have this thought in the back of your mind: Am I enough? Do I have what it takes? And as men, we want to believe we have what it takes. We want to believe that people believe in us, that not only do they know that we have what it takes, but we want to know ourselves that we have exactly what it takes. And that can be a very daunting and very difficult task for some of us to kind of analyze our way through. But in asking that question, do I have enough? And for those men who ask that question, what they're asking is, am I really valuable enough to really reach where I'm going? Do I really think that I can get to the goal by which I'm going to? Does it seem like something is just so strong in my path and in my way that I don't feel like I can get to that next area, to that next stage? If that's where you are, because I know I've been there, if that's where you are, I want you to know that throughout the book, throughout the theme of the book, the one statement that I like to make is that you're not being overlooked, but rather you're being prepared. It's not necessarily that you are not enough, even though that's the question that you have. The question that we ask is, am I enough? It's not necessarily that you're not enough, but it just means that possibly we just need to take a little bit more time in cultivating the character that is needed to sustain you in whatever destination that you are going. A lot of us, we usually think that we want to be prepared, or we just want to get to the destination. But can I be honest with you? The best part of the journey is not the destination, but it is the adventure. As men, we as little boys, we long to jump off of things. I look at my son, who's now 5 years old. Over the past 5 years, I saw a major difference between my son and my daughter. And even now with my nephews, I see a major difference between my sons and or my nephews and my nieces. And I see this difference because with my nephews, with my son, man, they're running around and they have swords, they have guns, they're trying to shoot. And they're acting like they're wrestling and all these kind of, they are wrestling, they're breaking things, they're throwing things down the steps. It's just stuff that they just love to do. While my daughter, she's sitting down, she has a doll, and she's just, she's just combing her hair, she's putting makeup all in her eyes and all this other kind of stuff. Just a different way. But one thing that I know is that as little boys, we long for adventure. Many of us, we grow up as men and we trade our sword for a pen. And then we think that the height of life is having a lot of things and the accumulation of a lot of stuff, which is not. It's actually the journey. Believe it or not, but a lot of men that I sit down with who are constantly running after women, they're constantly running after relationships. It's not even so much that they enjoy the relationship. In fact, a lot of men I sit down with, they'll tell me, I don't even enjoy the relationship. Or I don't even enjoy the sex. It's not the sex that I was after, but it was the chase. Again, it's not the destination that is the most desirable part of the journey, but rather it's the adventure. And when you're asking yourself, am I enough? Then typically that means that you've been running along in the journey long enough, and you probably just gotten to a place where you're tired and you're feeling like, maybe I don't have enough to continue moving forward. Well, there are some steps that I put in the book, and I just want to give you right now that can really help you go to that next level and make sure that you are moving forward and you know that you have what it takes. The first big thing is you got to affirm yourself. You got to tell yourself, you know what? I know I have what it takes. If that means you got to stand in front of a mirror and self-affirm yourself, and you do that. You tell yourself, I know I got what it takes. I know I can do what it takes. I know I can get to where I need to get to and make sure that I get there in the time in which God wants me to get there. So first you affirm yourself. Number two is a big one. Number two is that you get around people who are moving ahead in that direction. You have to make sure that you associate yourself with men who are running in the direction that you are running in. No longer can you sit down and just kind of mope around by yourself and having a pity party by yourself of what you and thinking what you can't do, or being around a bunch of other guys who aren't going anywhere, aren't envisioning anything. Be around some dreamers. Be around some visionaries. Get around men who will stretch your mind and allow for you to think differently. That's why it's so important for you to make sure that you know your circle, and you get in a good circle of men who can encourage you, who can help you, and who can push you along. And the third and last one is to make sure that you have good advisors, that you have good mentors, that you have men that you can look up to, and men who you respect enough to pour into you. You know, I'm honored to be one of those men for you, to be able to pour into you in this way. In another way, you know, I've opened up a new network. We have the Men's Mentoring Network, but I also have the Circle of Heroes Network, and that's that private personal mentorship. Those are those guys who I'm going to talk to one-on-one so that I want to be able to talk to you about your purpose. I want to be able to talk to you about your goals. I want to be able to talk to you about your plans. I want to be able to talk to you about, you know, your vision statement. If you don't have a vision statement as a man, then I'm telling you, you need to have one. And I want to sit down and talk with those, you know, 20, 25 guys and be able to talk to them about what that is in their life and why they need to have, you know, they have that mission statement, all those things. But I have the Circle of Heroes. You have to apply for that. If you want more information on that, you can go to mancavepledge.com and click on mentorship. Again, it's www.mancavepledge.com. Click on mentorship, go down, and you search for Circle of Heroes, and you'll find it. You can apply there. But you need to make sure that you have right advisors. The Bible says that wisdom is found in a multitude of advisors. It's found in a multitude of counselors. You know, good plans can go well when you have a man who has good advisors, men who he can go to, and who can be able to advise him properly. Those men can help him to know that, you know what, you have what it takes. You are enough. And honestly, you're a lot closer to your destination than what you think you are. It's difficult for you to tell the reach of the winds of a storm when you're in the eye of it. Why? Because the eye of the storm is typically extremely calm. Crazy, right? A major hurricane that is tearing down houses and uprooting big trees and turning over cars and toppling buildings. The winds are just ravaging everywhere. And you would think this hurricane is strong in all essence of its substance. But in actuality, in the eye of it, it's extremely calm. I've seen pictures where birds are flying in the middle of the hurricane, in the eye of it, because it's extremely calm. But once the bird gets caught up in the winds, then now it's become part of the damage. It's become part of the chaos. And you may think that you're not touching anything, or you're not touching anyone, or you're not moving in the direction where you're supposed to, when in actuality, your reach or your influence may be a lot longer than what you think it is. But it's always good to have an extra set of eyes to be able to show you what you can't see. Because as you stand in the eye of the hurricane, you need to have a good advisor, good mentors who can tell you, you know what? You're actually reaching people a lot further than what you think you are. Then those mentors can help you come up with data that can actually show you and prove to you that you're actually reaching a lot more people than what you think you are. I hope this encourages you. I hope it helps you. If it does, share the email. Share it with another guy. Tell him, hey brother, join this. It's risk-free. I didn't pay for anything. It's all free, man. This guy just wants to help you. He's just this old dude from Georgia who wore a red shirt that says Revive, and he just sent me a video encouraging me to get a book, Overlook, and to make sure that I'm doing everything I need to do to make sure I know that I have what it takes. And if nobody's ever told you that you have what it takes, brother, I'm here to tell you, you have what it takes. God bless you. Thank you for sharing this. And if you need it, go to mancavepledge.com to apply for my Circle of Heroes program. God bless you.